Wendel Clark. Stick handling frantically, then slowed down. Now shoots, scores! I know a lot of kids at home love this guy, Wendel Clark.
Wendel, when was the last time you've been here, and what did you think when you walked through the door?
The actual very last time I was here was just before the sale.
Yeah.
Before they had the auction, you could come through and see everything that you could buy that they're selling. And then coming through the door for the very first time since then, and coming in, you just the closeness of everything to the actual ice surface, the actual golds, reds, the colors of the seats, and I actually just looking out the tunnel. The street's only 20 steps off the back of the rink. It's how close the ice surface is actually to Carleton Street.
To the rest of the world.
Yeah, like just right there. The ice ends, take 10, 15 steps, you're on Carleton Street.
Tell me about the relationship you had with the people that sat in these seats.
Well, it was very unique in this era playing the game, in that every game the same people sat in the gold. So it's almost like we recognize everybody in that first section of seats around the whole building. Is almost like you knew them, because every game the same couple would sit at the same seat, so you'd almost be waving in warm-up and stuff like that. And then with the benches, to get to that one section, you had to walk through the bench, and much like you see in the Air Canada Centre where the people aren't there in the Platinums because I have to wait for that first whistle.
Right.
The same thing was happening here. Wait for that first whistle before you could come out to and then you'd have that file of people with the popcorn, hot dogs, and beers.
Like?
It was neat. If you're winning the game, it was fun. You could have fun with the people.
Yeah.
You'd be stealing the kids' popcorn and stuff like that. If you're losing the game 5-1, you're getting japped as he's walking by. But it was a very intimate feeling that all these old buildings had that.
Did any of your players ever go into the stands and say, "Look, I just about had enough"?
A lot of dirty looks from guys looking back, because you knew your eyes are almost telling them there's nothing between me and your seat. These guys over there have that, and I don't know if it was either Dan Maloney or John Brophy. I think he actually took a couple steps up.
Is that
going towards the fan? Then he caught himself knowing that wouldn't be very healthy.
But he got his attention, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Over your shoulder, we see the bunker. Tell me about your relationship with Harold Ballard.
Well, Harold has probably started right from the day pre-draft, day before the draft, not knowing I was still going to get drafted to Toronto or not. And I remember meeting in the hot stove all the office staff and Harold, and Harold actually saying, because I went there at that time, you went by yourself. There was no other people with you.
No agent, no parents,
nothing.
nobody.
You're meeting all the brass and the owner. And he says, well, how do you know you're going to make it anyway? And so that was his opening line at the end of the dinner. I can't even really remember, other than you're trying to be confident. Pretty sure I'm going to be here. I can't remember the exact words, but there's the owner saying, "What do you mean? You might not be here anyway." But and from there, he was always cantankerous and combative. But with the players, he was always very positive, always on our side. The players in general got along with him very well.
There was two guys there, right? Because there's a curmudgeon who worked really hard at cultivating almost a negative public image, and there was the guy that you guys knew, right? Yeah,
there's definitely two different guys, and he wanted that good bad thing with everybody outside, and with the players, he got to know everybody. He got to know, especially as younger guys, he got to know our parents. My dad sat in the bunker with him one game, which was a highlight. You're something you watch on TV, and you finally get to sit in the bunker with Harold and King Clancy there.
Yeah.
It was a highlight for my dad, and I just remember the one time, I think my third year, and I hurt my back, so I missed almost a whole year there. It was a whole year.
Yeah.
And in the media, Harold told the media I'm swinging the lead, or
I remember
there was a big line in the paper I wasn't trying to get back.
Yeah.
At the same time, walked in the dressing room and said, "Take your time, kid." Like he had he just wanted you to be healthy.
Did he? I think he struck me as a guy that loved the attention, whether it was negative or positive, from the public at large. He knew he couldn't get the public to love him, so as long as they were talking about him, that was okay.
Yeah, good press, bad press, he all thought was great.
Yeah.
And that was his. Everybody that has a sports team, and he was maybe the first Mark Cuban.
Yeah.
They liked the attention. It was him being him. He owned the team. He wanted to be around it. He wanted everything associated with it. He liked, and he owned it. It was his.
And he had a voice in everything. Did he often talk to the players about what they were doing, or did he delegate that to to the
No,
coaches?
he didn't necessarily get right into that with the players. It wasn't when you were with Harold. It was basically he'd be asking if you're doing the Western swing. He'd be out there. He'd be asking if your mom and dad are coming to the game and asking how it's going. And he was always he really did care about his players. As much as it looked like he hated everybody at times, he cared about. It was like his boys and everybody under him. He was the father. He lived right in the building, right out the back of the office.
Yeah.
And so he was. I did therapy many nights with the trainer, Chris Broadhurst here, and he'd be in the hallways, in and out of the dressing room at 10 at night. This was his house.
Just walking around.
Just up and around. This was his house.